Hi, this is the Frugal Chef. We're going to braise some pork today. This is a good recipe. It's easy. It takes a little time when the braising in the oven, but it's very easy to make and it's a very delicious recipe. So for this recipe, what we're going to need is the pork. We have 4 pounds of pork butt here, and we're also going to need 2 carrots, which I've just cut into 3-inch pieces. I have 2 stalks of celery, which I just cut the same, 2 3-inch pieces. Half a yellow onion. This was a big onion. I just took half and I cut it into 8 parts like this. I don't need little small pieces. I have 3 garlic cloves here, which I coarsely chopped. And here I have a little bouquet of parsley, thyme, and celery. Now, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to rub my pork in cumin. I have 1 tablespoon of cumin, 1 tablespoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of pepper in here. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to brown the meat, we're going to take it out, then we're going to deglaze the pan with a bottle of beer, and we're going to also use 2 cups of beef broth. Okay, so we're going to start. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mix my cumin, salt, and pepper, and I'm going to rub my pork with this. I'm going to just rub it nicely. I want all sides to get it so we can season it well. Okay? Okay, good. Alright, so I'm going to put about 2 tablespoons of olive oil into my Dutch pan here, my braising pot. And I'm going to go ahead and put the pork in, and I want to brown it very nicely on all sides, okay? So we'll just put it in there, we'll let it brown, and we'll come back once it's browned. So this meat is brown on all sides. I seared it. So I'm going to take it out and let it sit there for a little while. I'm going to go ahead and just keep the browns in there, nothing really burned. I'm just going to add a little more olive oil, maybe 1 more tablespoon. And I'm going to go ahead and add all my vegetables in here, except for my bouquet. I'm going to put in my carrots, my celery, my garlic, and my onions. Okay, I'll lower my heat. I'm just going to let these vegetables cook a little bit until they're translucent. Now, I don't want to get rid of my little brown pieces on the bottom of my pan because those are really tasty. So what I'm going to do is put a little bit of my beer in there and just scrape them out. So I'm going to deglaze. I'm using a Corona beer today. You guys can use any beer you want, of course. I would not use a dark ale for this recipe, so I don't think that the taste would, I think that's a little too strong. But, so now we're going to let this cook for a few minutes, 4 or 5 minutes, and then we're going to return our pork in here. We're going to put the rest of the beer, the stock, our herbs, and this is going to go in the oven for at least 2 hours at 350. So let's let this cook, we'll come back. Okay, my vegetables are ready. My onions are starting to brown a little bit, and my carrots have a little tinge of brown. This is ready. So I'm going to make a little well there and put my meat back. Okay, and I'm going to put my herbs in here. Now notice I tied these with kitchen twine, okay? Remember that all these recipes are at thefrugalchef.com. Alright, so now I'm just going to add the rest of my beer in here. And I'm going to add my 2 cups of beef stock. Okay, what I'm going to do now is let this come to a boil. And then I'll cover it. And I'm going to put it in the oven, which has been preheating at 350. It'll be in the oven, as I said, for 2 hours. And then we're going to serve this with mashed potatoes. Alright, let's check our pork. This pork has been cooking for 2 hours. Look at that. It is nice and cooked. It's nice and tender. We can see I can take it apart with my spoon. Okay, so now I'm gonna make a mashed potato, and I'm gonna serve this with mashed potatoes and some vegetables. I'll get rid of my herbs, and we have a nice, delicious pork that we're gonna eat with mashed potatoes. So here you go. Bon appetit from thefrugalchef.com.